Hello, this is FPLFEM back with another video. So in this video, we're going to go through my first FPL draft. So I'm going to go through the whole squad and then you can see what my thoughts on it is. So first off, we've got in goal Verbruggen. So Verbruggen is 4.5, 16.8% owned. So he's got a decent amount of fixtures. So Aston Villa is not bad. Chelsea could be hard. Leeds and Coventry are quite good. Arsenal could be hard. So is that. And then if we quickly look at the transfer section, so if you see right here, Verbruggen got 130 points, and then everybody above him is 5 million or so above. So Henderson only got 1 point above more than him. He's 5 million. Donnarumma is 5.5 million. So Raya at the top is 6 million, and 30 points is not too much of a difference for 1.5 million difference. So that's why I'm looking at it, and I've done Verbruggen as my goalkeeper. As the backup, I chose his backup teammate Steele, so there's always a Brighton goalkeeper into play. So now let's move on to the defense. So with the defense, I chose Mosquera. So Mosquera is 5.5 million. He looks like to be a starting defender for Arsenal since Saliba is injured. As you can see from here, Saliba is injured, Timber is injured. So I just think Mosquera will start as a result of those two. So yes, so at this moment in time, he is 16.7% owned, and it's a great way into the Arsenal defense. So you can play both centre back and right back. Next, I've got Mitchell. So I've got Mitchell, who's 4.5 million. So if we quickly go through the points history, so as you can see here, Mitchell for 4.5 million, he is one of the best at 135 points that he got last season. So I just think that you're not going to get a better 4.5 million defender, even when I switch it to so when I switch it to 4.5 million, Mitchell's at the very top. So I just felt that that was really good value for money for somebody who got 135 million, and he's not too great at, if we quickly look at his full. Yeah, so he got 1 goal and 3 assists, and then the rest is basically clean sheets and DEFCON. So he got 12 clean sheets, which is not bad. And so it'll be interesting to see how Crystal Palace do next season. So there's that. The next I've got is Davis of Ipswich. So he's a massive differential, but he's a bench player. So basically, what happened with Davis is that when he had his stint in the Championship, not last season, but a few seasons ago, he got over 10 assists in the Championship. So he does do some set plays as well, and so that he's my 4 million bench player. Next, I've got Kirkes. So Kirkes is 5.5 million of Liverpool, and if we quickly look at his profile, so he's 5.8% owned, so he's a good differential. And if we quickly look here, so for the he didn't do too well last season, only getting 85 points. But here is really good to see. So he got 134 points for the 2024 to 2025 season. And that is actually when Iriola and him were both at Bournemouth. And in that season, they weren't taking DEFCON. So it is a very good possibility that if if he gets a similar amount of 2 goals and 6 assists, which is not too which is not too demanding of his capabilities, he could be a potential 150 plus points player. So that's why he's into my squad. He's a good differential, and that's the thinking behind that with the Iriola reunion. So last but not least, with the defense, I've got Luke Shaw. So Luke Shaw, he's 24.7% owned. He's the starting left back for Man U. He started all their games, so he has been injured in the past, but it seems that he was managed really well. And so yeah, he's going to be the starting left back for Man U. Sometimes Mishirari can play there, and they don't see Dorgu as the left back anymore, even though he can play there in emergency. So if we quickly go through the midfield, so in the midfield, I've got Gross. So Gross is my differential. So Gross is quite a good pick. So he's 8.1% owned. He got 78% last season, despite him being a January signing, and potentially he can get. If you look at his history, he's got 150 points plus in his locker, and he takes penalties now. So he got a goal and 6 assists, which is not bad for half a season, and he's very capable of doing it. Yes, he's an older player, but he's still really going to be key for Brighton. So he takes set pieces, takes penalties, he creates chances. So he's going to be very important for Brighton. So he's my differential at 8.1%. Next in the midfield, I've got Cole Palmer. So Cole Palmer is 9.5 million. He is 12.4% owned, so not an official differential, but very close to that. And he's got not too bad fixtures. So Fulham is not bad. Nice derby there. Brighton. Arsenal is a tricky game, but Hull is a game that he should really do well in. And I just think that with the Alonso system, if he plays with three at the back, with two tens behind the striker, I think he can be really key. And I'm looking at, so he potentially can get over 200 points. So 244 points in his first season at Chelsea, 214. So you've potentially got a 200-point player for under 10 million, which is really good. So, and with Cole Palmer, he's the talisman for Chelsea. Everything attacking wise will go through him. So next I've got Will Hughes. So Will Hughes is just an enabler, and basically with the same logic as Mitchell. So if I quickly change it to 4.5, so Will Hughes got, yes, he only got 45 points overall, but in terms of players that actually got points at 45, 4.5 million, Hughes was the best of the lot. Next, I've got Szoboszlai. So Szoboszlai is going to be key for Liverpool this season. I don't know why he's so heavily owned, but it'll be risky if you don't have him, in my opinion. So now he's 47.3% owned. Which is wild. That's almost half. So I think he'll get six. So he's good attacking wise. So he got 160 points last season. He got 6 goals, 7 assists. He takes the set pieces. He can actually maybe take some penalties as well. In my opinion, he's going to be starting as the number 8 for Liverpool, not as the number 10. And so he's an all-action player, so he'll get DEFCON as well. So, and he can also play emergency right back. So I think he's a good midfielder to have to pick from, and I think it's worth having him in your team just because if he does well, then you won't lose too much with the template because he is 47.3% owned. So you've got to be wary about that. If he does well and you don't have him, you probably will lose rank. Next, I've got for the midfield the assist king, so Bruno Fernandes. So Bruno's fixtures are actually quite good. So in his first 2 games, he's got Hull and Ipswich. Everton is not too bad. Man City at home, which is a derby, anything can happen, and Fulham as the fixture. So again, he's 48.7% owned, but he's done really well. So last season he got 235 points, got 9 goals, 24 assists, and I think he can get similar amount of points. Last season, hopefully he takes that over. So I think he's definitely over 200 million. And the great thing is that if he doesn't perform, you can always downgrade. Meanwhile, if it's the opposite way around where you're only playing with an 8 million midfielder, then you've got to struggle and do a couple of moves to get to Bruno. So I'm very happy having Bruno in my team, and he's definitely a lock in the squad. So let's move on to the forwards. So with the forwards, I'm quite happy with the forwards. So of the first forward is João Pedro. So João Pedro at this moment in time is 54.5% owned. So he really made the jump last season. So he got 177 points, 15 goals, 9 assists, and I think that and the majority of those goals are without penalties. And I think he can do really well this season. I just think that Rodgers and Palmer in behind João Pedro would make a delicious front three, and I think he'll be key to that with scoring and assisting. And I think he can improve because he's a young player, and he's going to be the starting number 9 for Chelsea. And yeah, I think he's definitely the front three in my opinion is a lock. So João Pedro is definitely a lock. Next, I've got Calvert Lewin. So with Calvert-Lewin, he did really well, and so he's 22.6% owned. He's rebuilt his career at Leeds, so getting 14 goals, 2 assists. He takes the penalties as well, and so I think that he is really, really good. For 6 million, you're not going to get a better striker, in my opinion. 142 points, and you've got to bear in mind that Leeds bought Harry Wilson, and so the supply line into Calvert-Lewin is going to be good. And if we look at the strikers, so Calvert-Lewin is only 6 million. He got 142 points, and then when you just change the price to 6.5 Calvert-Lewin is at the very top. So if he performs exactly like last season, you're not going to get a better striker than Calvert-Lewin for 6 million. So that is really, really good. And last but not least, I've got Haaland. So Haaland is the most expensive striker in the game. So 239 points is really good. Let's quickly go through his profile. So 74.9% owned. So if you don't have him, yes, you'll have a lot of transfer budget, but people will have him and captain him. So if he does well and you don't have sufficient Man City cover, then you could really drop in rank. His goals are great, so always getting above 20 goals, 36, 27, 22, 27. So he's back on the way up. Slightly overperforming his XG, which is great. And so he played 34, he started 34 games. And so, yeah, I think this is really good. So it'll be more of the same from Erling Haaland. And what can I say? He's just a goal machine. And if Man City do want to win the title, that'll depending on him scoring all the goals. So this is my team. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Who do you change? Who do you buy? Who do you think I'm missing? I look forward to your comments in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. This is FPLFEM and I'm out.